Hi guys. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how I arrived at achieving this starfish lamp. I call it a starfish lamp because of the interlinking star shapes that make up the shade here. Alright, so I'll just show you really quickly how to get this kind of shape in 3ds Max. Okay, I'm using 3ds Max 2012. However, I'm going to mention right up front that I'll be utilizing a modifier plugin, a free modifier plugin called Mega Bevel, to assist in the production here. It's a terrific modifier, and I'll provide a link to it in the description of the video so that you guys can download it yourself and get the benefits of it. It's 100% free, and it really makes short work of some complex extrusions and rotational extrusions and stuff like that. Without it, it would be a little bit time consuming and laborious to do it by hand. Um, so I highly recommend the plugin. It's fantastic and it's totally free. I believe it works with 3ds Max 2011 and higher, so well worth the time to download and install. Okay, and other than that, I'll be using quad chamfer as well. If you have 3ds Max 2015 or higher, then you already have quad chamfer in your tool set, you know, by default. However, in this case, it is an add-on. So, all right, let's get to it. So here we are in Max, and we'll go to extended primitives, and we'll insert a Hydra primitive into the scene. Okay, and in this case, we're going to use the dodecicos family. All right, so once you have it set to that, you can go ahead and collapse to editable poly. All right, and real quick, and I do this all the time, I'm just going to drop a standard gray material so you can see the edges better, and turn my wire color to black. Okay. All right, so I'll show edges, and here we are with our dodecahedron in the scene. And first step is to switch to faces and grab one of these engons. All right, then go to your select similar, and I have mine set to edge count, face areas, and topology. Okay, and I recommend having all three of these. I don't know if they're checked by default or not, but make note of that, and that's what I use for most of my similar selections, and it works really well. So, all right, so select similar, and you have all of them, and the next step is just to extrude, and for this tutorial, I won't be modeling to scale. However, if you're designing a lamp or something in the real world, you'll obviously want to pay attention to your units of measure. Okay, but in this case, we're just going to arbitrarily extrude and whatnot. So extrude it to about that far, and then extrude again, just slightly. All right, and then without deselecting anything, grow the selection once, Control I to invert, and delete. Okay, and you're left with this. Now you'll want to drop down to your border selection and Control A to select all. All right, these are all the borders, and just cap them. All right, and that makes them solid. All right, then go to face mode and select all the perimeter quads around one of the elements here. Okay, once you have that selected, you can select similar again and grab all of them. Okay, and this is the portion of the tutorial where Mega Bevel will prove very useful. All right, so what we'll do now is engage our Mega Bevel, and we'll set it to by polygon. Okay, and we'll just pull some height out initially, right about there just for now. And then in the drop-down rollouts, we'll go to stack use global settings, and we'll start with a count of 3 for now. All right, and then in the rotate pull down, we'll use an X value of 30, so 30 degrees, and then in the Y value, we'll try 10. Okay, so this is what we'll have so far. We may want to reduce our height slightly, add one more count. Okay, and the purpose here, what we're trying to achieve here is just to get these faces lined up nicely in every direction here, in every area. So, and I'll show you why in a second. We may need to adjust our rotation, and let's see, we don't want to intersect anything, so we got to be careful about that. Let me back off once here and just increase the height a little bit. Actually, 4 was better. Okay, so this looks pretty good right here. I think we're lined up fairly well here. So we're going to fix some of these. I know you're probably looking at this and saying, well, you have some edges that are crossing. Don't worry about that right now. Just worry about the faces matching here and lining up, and I think we got that. Let's add an edit poly modifier, and we'll go to our face mode, and we can control our shift bridge to bring up the caddy if we need it, and it looks like we will. We'll add one extra segment in our bridge. Okay, and accept that. Okay, so this is the result so far. Okay, so now what we'll do here is we'll add a relax modifier on top of all of this, and that should straighten out some of our intersections and our issues with topology here. So let's add a relax, and as you can see, that brilliantly straightens out some of this the error issues that we had there. Okay, and we'll increase it maybe. One iteration is actually pretty good. 2 is too thin, so 1 iteration, and then this should be the result. Okay. All right, so we'll collapse this down. All right, so we have basic interlinking star shape here, but we need to take it further. And what we want is we want to select all of the outer faces on the object, because the next steps will be easier to work with a surface than it will be a solid model. So if we just select all of these outer faces and delete the rest, we'll have just a single-sided surface to continue working on, and it will be easier than working with a solid object. So what we're going to do is to grab all of these outer faces and not the interior ones. One easy way to do that is to go into face mode and select all of these polygons that make up the border of this this hole here. Okay, and choose select similar to grab them all. All right, and then go ahead and delete those border polygons. So what that leaves you with are two surfaces, 2 elements facing in the opposite directions that aren't connected. So knowing this, we could switch to element mode and just grab that inner element and delete it, and then that leaves us with all of the outside facing polygons that we want to work with here. Okay, instead of having to go and select each selecting all of these polygons, since we have so many different directions and so many different there's an n-gon here, so you can't get all the loops. It would have been a little bit more difficult doing it by hand. Okay, so now that we have this, what we want to do next is make this shape round. All right, so we're going to have to add some extra geometry through here in order to round these out, because right now these n-gons are going to remain flat even if we apply a spherical modifier to it. There's nothing in here that's going to round out these flat surfaces. So what we'll do here is we'll select everything, and then we'll just run a tessellate one time, and that'll provide us with the resolution necessary to round out this shape. Okay, so with our new edges running through, we could go ahead now and add a spherify modifier. Okay, if I can find it, there it is. All right, and now with that added, you can see we have a perfectly round object here, or surface, I should say. Okay. All right, so now this is looking a lot more like the model that we have here. All right, so now that we have that, we can collapse that at this point. Okay, and if you were modeling this to create the same object that I did, which was a lamp, or maybe you're gonna, use it for another purpose. You need to run something through the bottom of it as a base or something like this. So just keep that in mind if you are doing that, to look at your model face on from the bottom and decide if you're in a good position to add geometry through there realistically. And in this case, of course, we're directly facing one of these arms. That's not a good spot to run, the base of a lamp or something through there. So, what we might want to do here is just to rotate it so that one of these n-gons is actually facing dead on and in the center here. All right, and that will allow us to have a surface where we could, punch a hole through and then drive a cylinder up through there. Okay, but for right now, we're just going to worry about achieving the shape here, and we're 90% there, as you can see. All right, so the next thing I did here was to get that object was just add a shell modifier again for thickness. We're just eyeballing it here, but if you're modeling to scale, you'll want to pay attention to the amount here. But for now, we're just going to eyeball it, and whatever looks good is fine. And I think right about there is okay. So this is it so far. And what you can do at this point before we subdivide and throw a turbo smooth on here is probably chamfer some of these edges, and that should make it look better. It'll catch highlights better and stuff, so more realistically. All right, so we'll go ahead and collapse the shell modifier down and convert to poly again so we can continue working. All right, we'll go to our edge mode and we'll select all of these border edges. All right, so just start grabbing those, and also on the inside. Let me see. Let's select similar here. Yeah, we'll need to grab the inside ones as well. All right, so you really only have to worry about grabbing one of these, but there. Okay, so with that selected, we'll just select similar, and we should have them all selected. What did I grab an extra edge there? Oh, it looks like I did. Just be careful when you're working in close like that you don't grab an edge that you really don't want to grab, like I just did, or you'll have a problem. Let me see, let's try it again. Yeah, that did it. So I must have had an extra edge selected. All right, so now that we have all those selected, we'll just go ahead and chamfer them slightly. Okay, and that should be good enough. All right, and if you have quad chamfering, that's probably a better way to go. So we'll throw a quad chamfer on there, and we'll quad intersections and ends, and we'll just bring it to bring it to a size that we're happy with. Right about there is good. All right, so with the edges all chamfered, we can go ahead and throw a turbo smooth on top. And there it is. All right, so with a turbo smooth on top, you're going to have a little bit of added geometry, obviously, but the result is going to be much cleaner. All right, so if we look at it this way, and we could probably increase our chamfer size a little bit. So there we go. All right, so that's how to get this shape, and hope this was useful to you. All right, so if you have any questions, or if I wasn't clear on something here, feel free to leave a comment. And definitely grab that Mega Bevel if you don't already have it, because it's a terrific free plugin. So very handy for stuff like this. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.